Okay, who do you think will really love this game?
I mean, you said autist.
I think it's pretty funny. I think I can make that joke.
I'm joking about myself. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm also joking about the streamer last night who was like, oh man, I'm so autistic and I love this. So when I started making this game, I really focused it on making it for like art nerds and weirdos and people that liked a little bit of history, but also people who are a bit silly and chaotic. I wasn't really focused too much on demographics, but I wanted to make sure that when it came to like the themes and the styles and just, you know, what the player would be doing, that people who played the game would have an absolute ball with it.
I think it's just been so incredibly fun watching people think deeply about what things could mean. It's very funny to watch somebody else play a game you know the answers to. It's like the worst case of backseat gaming. My partner and I were watching a stream at midnight one night, shaking the desk going, if you just get this one more thing, or you'd mispronounce that word and therefore you've missed the pun. As one of the reviewers I contacted said, it's deeply weird, but also strangely informational, and that's maybe one of the nicest things anyone could have said to me about the game.
What I've ended up finding is that I made this game for me, because I am all of those things, and it's very funny as well. I was watching some streamers play, they went, man, it's like this game was made for autistics, and I love that. It's because I am, and the people that seem to love it are often autistic as well, and it's just so wonderful to be like, right, this is the game about special interests and being a nerd and being a bit weird, and it's a game for us.
I've got to say my favourite piece in the game is probably Garden of Earthly Delights. It's the first one I started on, and it's the one that really inspired the concept of the game to begin with. Although I've already been told people struggled with this one because there's so much in it.
You can literally take a small chunk of that painting and it could be its own painting. It is just so complex and detailed. And so it's really my favourite just because of the tone and the complexity, and I mean the content is funny too. I mean, that's the single painting that made me have to put a mature content warning, but I was never going to get rid of it just for that. I think a few streamers have been caught out by the amount of full frontal nudity in it, but you know, it's an interesting one to take a look at for sure. And you know, they did things differently in the 1500s. I think the reactions from people when they're streaming the game and they encounter this like very debaucherous scene for Garden of Earthly Delights, you see a lot of bodies in that painting. I think sometimes people are surprised, but also I feel like everyone's seen, you know, the Statue of David or some of the other classical artwork that features naked bodies. And it's not really, well, I guess it depends on your background, but most people I've seen haven't really considered it that, whoa, it's not been too scandalous for them. I feel like as well, for the right sorts of people, it could be a bit too much. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to art is about depicting experience and also potential experience. Now, I'm not saying Hieronymus Bosch experienced this sort of triptych style, you know, heaven, earth and hell all in one session, probably on an acid trip, you know, that sort of thing. But it's also about depicting the experience of people and the potential consequences from a religious perspective and all that sort of stuff. Well, a full perspective of people's experiences isn't always going to be so, you know, PC at the end of the day. I think classic art, and all art really, deserves space to have expression of all kinds. My target audience was one of the really early things I identified, and it's like a big step of pre-production for any game. If you don't know who you're making a game for, the game is going to feel weird in a not good way. It's going to feel like it's really unfocused. By having a target audience, it meant that I could say, okay, I'm trying to make a decision. Do I do this or do I do that? If I know who my target audience is for this game, my imaginary example person or people, you know, the personas thing that marketers love to do, I can think about my imaginary people that could play this game and that would really like this game. What would they like in this situation when I'm trying to make this design decision. In the design process is really helpful to make sure that you're only making choices, or you're only making choices in your own brain that are really targeted and fitting for what people want out of this game. And then when it comes back around to the whole marketing perspective of it, you're only talking with people that are really, really passionate about these sorts of games and these sorts of projects, and that have a lot of time for you. One of the key things as well, hidden object games are not AAA. Most hidden object games that are made are pretty simple affairs, and that's fine. You know, there's quite a large market for them, but you're not finding them on, you know, the Indie Game Awards. You're not finding them in these big showcases. So you need to be prepared and willing to work with smaller people too. Smaller content creators are so powerful. While you might get more eyeballs on something by having a really big content creator cover it, smaller people, they can actually give you the time and attention, and they can become some of your biggest supporters. When you're working in this space, having people that are going to shout about what you've made and have it be like their favorite thing or whatever, it's such a privilege, and you just don't get that with larger creators. It's really, really important to me in everything I've ever done around games and game marketing that it's supporting the smaller creators in this space. Game promotion or game marketing, or you know, the informal act of getting people to look at what you've made is a bit of a weird one. It's such an odd space to be in, and if I didn't have a lot of experience helping other people market their games in the past, it would be a deeply uncomfortable one too, which is why so many game developers really hate talking about money and their games, and you know, they just want it to be about the endeavor and the play of it, and you know, they don't want to make TikToks about it, and they don't want to, you know, spend money on advertising and things like that. It's really deeply uncomfortable for somebody who is a creative to then try and shout about their own work, which is why marketing agencies exist, I suppose. But I think for me, in marketing this game, it's been more about sharing the silly of it and sharing the whimsy of it. I think at the end of the day, my game isn't expensive. I think it's $5.99 US, and it'll probably be on sale most of the time that I remember to put it on sale, or as much as Steam will let you. They have you have cooldowns. The sort of marketing aspect of it is, I mean, some would say a necessary evil, but I would say it's being able to share the fun and the whimsy in the project, and being able to share something you're passionate about. It doesn't need to be formal, and it doesn't need to be polished, certainly. It just needs to be authentic. And for me, finding authenticity in the work that I do while I'm in the middle of it is the key thing. For me, sometimes it's really tough to put down what you're working on when you're in the middle of development and you're focused and you're coding and you're designing and you're working on the art, and put it all down and make a TikTok or whatever. But sometimes it's also about stepping back and taking a breather. You can't always be in the middle of like deep development, and so this allows me to step back for an hour, make a silly little thing about what I've been working on, and then come at it with a new perspective. So it's almost like forced breaks but still productivity. I don't know, not to be too grindset mindset. It is one of those things where sometimes you need to give yourself a breather, and it's just a good way to give yourself a breather while still working on it.
So when it comes to content creators and engaging them to help promote the game, I'm really lucky in that I've had a bit of experience in this already. Before I was working on this, I spent a few years being a marketer for other people's games, which is a very bizarre industry to be in, especially in the indie space. That really gave me the opportunity to know and have worked through the sorts of problems that come with trying to engage lots of people in a low-budget way. So when I started looking at who I wanted to contact about my game, in my pre-production I identified a whole bunch of games that were inspirations for or similar to my game. Especially for games that have been out for a few years, if somebody is still playing a game like this, like Hidden Through Time or Hidden Folks, those ones where they've been released a few years ago, it's really indicative those people really love hidden object games. Then I gather a few of these almost competitor games, even though we're not really competing, and I use a few online tools to find lists of who is playing these kinds of games. It lets me see if they've got contact details so I can reach out to them and give them a key if they're interested. That really enables me to only talk to the people that would be interested in these sorts of games. It's not very nice to ask somebody somebody to do something for you for free, and it runs against a lot of my morals as an ethical game developer. When I ask people to work for me, even if they're a friend, I like to give them some money about it. So then when I have to go out and ask hundreds of streamers, YouTubers, TikTokers, all of these people working on content for free, it feels very weird. But at the end of the day, it's about the value proposition for them and me. I found that if you just ask them to do you a favour, they don't know you, you're not their friend. So showing them how covering your game would be a really good thing for their audience, and that you're doing each other a favour, that's more likely to be received positively.
At the moment, the key updates are around quality of life stuff. As of recording this, we have yet to release the game. I've had a whole bunch of streamers playing it, and it's been great and mortifying to watch their reactions and see what sorts of things they got stuck on, or what sort of things they commented felt a bit weird as a player, or they just didn't understand. And so having had that feedback now, I'm going to take all of that and go back and refine it and fix it and make some more decisions around what's important to keep within the game and what's not as important to keep within the game for the sake of clarity, and basically make sure that the game is fun to play for everyone involved, not just me in my own bubble.